hope so. Let's see how it all plays out.
Let's see how it plays out. They come off the line. Viensek to lead out Simon Olsen for the first battle of our top 32. Viensek fires that car to angle. Look at that. Simon Olsen goes for the initiation, then holds off. He's understeering. He's off the track. Simon Olsen puts that car off track. Has to reinitiate. As Viensek now puts that car to outside zone 4. Fires it through. Stays on that wide line and picks up outside zone 5. And now you can see in the background Simon Olsen getting it wrong, jumping up the curb and putting that car into a spin as Viensek puts a bumper on a Super along the wall and over the line.
Absolutely devastating for the young Norwegian.
Looks now to try and upset Viensek in that lead position, but can he do it? He puts that car to the edge of the circuit, clean this time from Simon Olsen as Viensek comes up on the inside. Viensek's not going to let him get away. He knows he needs to stay within a few metres and keep that proximity as Simon Olsen drops a few outside zones. Viensek looks scrappy behind, but he doesn't have to do too much. He's just keeping himself in the fight here. It's Viensek as Olsen sticks the back end of that S14.9 to the wall and across the line. It's a battle. Slide him left for Olsen, right for Viensek. And of course, it's going to be unanimous. It's going to be Peter Viensek taking the win, advancing through to and through the gears to lead out Alan Hines. What we're going to see here in our second top 32 battle, big flick to initiation for Timo Asuma as he settles that car in that first outside zone, comfortable for Timo Asuma as now Alan Hines has to shrink up the circuit, trying to find the door of the Finnish drivers, BMW, and fire through outside zone 1. Big transition there from Alan Hines. He goes for the back bumper straight away. He knows he needs to make a move, and he's done. As they get into outside zone 6, Hines wants to tuck up onto the door as Asuma fires on even more angle across the line to drag him around the circuit. What can Alan Hines now do in that lead position as he hammers through the gears? Looks like he's going to go for a nice initiation. He does, right to the edge of the circuit. Creeps on, no, understeers. Car doesn't react. Timo Asuma almost makes contact. Now Alan Hines gets himself back into it. Asuma now gives Alan Hines the room to manoeuvre. Hines fires it almost backwards to outside zone 5. He's driving angry as the young Irishman as he gets himself into that final outside zone. Asuma now going to tuck up onto the door, and he does. He mirrors the angle as they go door to door across the line.
Wondering just the changing asphalt that's there. So it's catching him out.
Maybe. Here we go. Slide him left for Hines, right for Asuma, and it's going to be Finland's very own Timo Asuma getting the win, advancing through to the top 16. Yesterday and looking strong in that lead position. What can he do right now where it counts? Sana flicks that car. One nice movement into angle on throttle nice and early, but one that's off the circuit. And completely gets that wrong as Ite Sadat now just left to fire that car into the final outside zone. And across the line, he will be showing that red flag as he comes across that finish line to slow the car down. To initiate and move around the circuit as they fire in at full speed. The back end of that car already flexing and flying in the air. Ite Sadat just needs to keep within enough distance to keep it an active chase. It looks like he's doing that job so far. As Imamanis now fires that car into outside zone 5. A little dab at the handbrake, but keeps a hold of it. And Ite Sadat doing exactly what we expected him to do, and that's just keep himself in the conversation, but not too much. It's such a shame for the young Latvian. Slower, trying to keep some distance. That car's gripped up for battle. There we go. Ite Sadat gets the win and advances through to the top 16. Screen, they come off the line. Two OGs in European drifting go head to head as they fire through the gears. Juha Rittinen goes for that big flick. Cherba goes for an aggressive flick. Keeps a hold of it. Look at this, both guys wide over the edge of the circuit, but they hold on to it. Cherba wandering and waving in that chase position now, out of position, has to get himself back on that qualifying line. As Juha Rittinen almost goes too deep, and that allows Cherba to get himself back into the fight once again. Rittinen deep on outside zone 6, and here comes Cherba. Dials on the angle, hits Rittinen across the line.
A bit of a grudge match here.
But Juha Rittinen goes for the attack and an odd initiation there, and I think that messed up Juha Rittinen. It did. Rittenen's on the inside now as Cherba fires that car on big angle. Rittinen now in the lead position, puts that car into the outside zone, but Rittinen fires through the smoke as Cherba jumps over the curb, flicks it back. Rittinen still trying to keep himself in the fight, but keep the face clean as he now dives up onto the door, looks for the front wheel of Cherba's car and across the line. It's going to be a one more time, or a split decision, one vote for Cherba. We'll come quickly to you, David Kalas, in for battle as we get the green light, and they are good to go. It's Rittinen to lead out Cherba for a spot in the top 16. They fire through the gears. Can we get a cleaner initiation? We do this time, and look at this. Rittinen gets into it. Look at Cherba straight onto the back bumper, follows him around that first outside zone as Cherba now looks to tuck up on the inside as they go wide for outside zone 2 and 3. This is going to be sketchy for the judges, and it upsets the line for Benedictus Cherba as Juha Rittinen gets himself into outside zone 6. Cherba now trying to get himself back into the fight once again as he tries to claim proximity as they get it across the line. Benedict Sturba flicks that BMW into outside zone 1 and stands on the accelerator as he puts that rear wheel to the white line and fires it back for outside zone 2. But look at this from Rittman, he tucks up onto the inside. He knows he can't let the Lithuanian driver get away as they fire across the circuit once again to outside zone 5. This is very clean this time for Benedict Sturba as Rittman now tucks up into the pocket, puts the wheel towards the door. Can he force an error as they get the job done and across the line?
That's the battle we wanted and we expected from these two drivers.
And I think he's already decided his fate. Here we go, side left for Sturba, right for Rittman. It's going to be Benedict Sturba. Benedict Sturba getting the win and advancing through to the top 16. Himself and Connor Falvey, the Drift Masters is up in arms. Well, here we go. Laurie Heinemann flicks that 180 SX2 angle, stands on the accelerator, and that sonorous sound, that V8 screams as Egan goes for an early transition, but he's going to be way on the inside. It doesn't really work for him as Laurie Heinemann now fires into the outside zone. Very nice line from Heinemann at 5 as he gets it back across the circuit for outside zone 6. A big clutch kick now. Egan trying to fall into formation, trying to find the door as Dave Egan does find the door on a 180 SX across the line. Fire through the gears. Laurie Heinen's going to tuck into the back bumper as Dave Egan flicks that Supra right to the edge of the circuit. Look at Heinen, he trusts him, jumps up onto the door, shallows off a little bit of angle as they flick back for outside zone 2. Egan on a nice lead line right now as he puts him right to the edge of the circuit. Heinen shallows up once again, trying to keep up with that Supra, backs it in. Heinen pushing Dave Egan right to the edge of the circuit as Egan flexes the back end off the wall in outside zone 6. Heinen on the door. There's no messing around as they get it across the line. Wow.
They didn't have to do any of that.
Must feel like on top of the world. Here we go, slide them left for Egan, right for Laurie Heinen. It's unanimous. It's going to be Laurie Heinen getting the win and advancing through to the top 16. Czech's very own Marco Zacharil in that Volkswagen-powered BMW M2. They come off the line and through the gears. Zacharil flicks that 2 Series to angle, and James Dean falls into formation. It's an absolute beautiful chase so far from Dean, but look at this from Zacharil. Shallows up the angle, has to grab a little bit of handbrake before he goes to outside zone 4, and that does allow James Dean to fall back ever so slightly, but now Zacharil finds the throttle once again. That car's so snappy and quick on transitions as Dean falls into formation outside zone 6 as he dials on the angle, pushes onto the door.
Yeah, a bit strange there.
He now gets that Mustang singing and fires it in to angle, but look at that from Zacharil right down on the inside, has to fall back and now tuck up onto the door on a Mustang as Zacharil goes for an aggressive dive up to the door once again. Look at this from Zacharil, not messing around against James Dean. Oh, the transition didn't work for Zacharil. Corner of understeer, has to get back in the fight. Now he's on the inside, goes for it once again as Dean plays that car perfectly. Zacharil in the wall, and Dean finishes up the run and across the line. Zacharil can only go one way. It's going to be James Dean, the machine, to take it through into the top 16. Six into gear to chase down the 2JZ powered Nissan 200SX S14A. Korpolinski fires through the gears, flicks that car to initiation. Bulmanis goes with him, but loses some ground on initiation. Now starts to turn the screws. Bulmanis looking for the side of the points leaders. Nissan, they fire into outside zone 4. Not a lot separating them right now as Bulmanis trying to tuck up onto the inside. Very wide there for Pavel Korpolinski as he gets himself into that final outside zone. Bulmanis in it, but can he find the door as he clutch kicks that car across the line to keep that championship dream alive as they come off the line and through the gears. Bulmanis now to fire in that carbon Kevlar BMW, and he does with a straight line initiation, sets that car into that first outside zone. Korpolinski trusts him and goes for it, goes for a dive down the inside outside zone 2. Bulmanis pedaling that car inside as he now takes a shortcut. Look at this from Korpolinski straight onto the back bumper. Now looks for the door as Korpolinski hunts him down in that final outside zone. Korpolinski goes for the door and he does. He gets even closer than Bulmanis and he pushes him across the line.
Ooh, catching him in a wall right at the end there for Bulmanis. Oh, that was a really, really good.
One vote for Korpolinski. It's unanimous. It's Pavel Korpolinski getting the win, advancing through to the top 16. And the Polishman, fiber cars, 2 carbon Kevlar panel cars, fire into action. And look at that from Nicolas Bertans. He fires that car. Look at this through the smoke. Oh, way on the inside though. Pushes Nasser Al-Habali up onto the curb as they fire to outside zone 5. Nasser Al-Habali now trying to get himself in the fight, but this is scrappy from Nicolas Bertans. Oh, contacting outside zone 6, and this is a fist fight on circuit.
Yeah, it's scrappy is definitely the way to put it. And Bertans.
That's that nice big flick to initiation. Tailgate on. That Nissan 400C opens up. That supercharged V8 screams. There's another V8 behind him. Breathes down his neck, but he's thrown on too much angle. Bertans doesn't bail out, but he's found himself on the wrong line coming across the circuit. Nicolas Bertans, another big mistake. Can Nasser Al-Habali hold on to this and force the win in his favour from the lead position as Habali puts a back end to the wall and across the line? That's going to be Nasser Al-Habali. Nasser Al-Habali takes down Nicolas Bertans in top 32. David Kalas, we're going to come to you. That one, a scrappy battle between those two guys. 2 JZs come off the line and scream into action. Toyota GT86 versus Toyota Yaris. As Shanahan flicks that car in, a beautiful initiation that gets that foot buried to the floor already, but Yves Meyer now needs to find himself in the battle. It's mistakes from Yves Meyer already from the get-go. As Shanahan puts that car right on the edge of the circuit, deep towards outside zone 5, but Yves Meyer looks like he may have issues with that car, can't seem to get himself into the mix as Shanahan puts the back bumper at 86 towards the wall and across the line.
Yeah, I completely agree. That's just not the Yves Meyer that we saw in practice or in qualifying, so maybe still hunting down some gremlins. You know, it's a new...
Off the line, Yves Meyer now to lead out Connor Shanahan for a spot in the top 16. They work their way through the gears down to initiation. Yves Meyer in the fresh air out front, gets that car to angle, now starts to make a move. He transitions into outside zone 2. Shanahan though gets himself into it at deep edge. You're right there, Jacob, for Yves Meyer, and he's going to fire it into outside zone 5 and hold on to it. But can he hold on to it going into the wall? He does. As Shanahan deals with it, shadows up the angle, but Yves Meyer tags the wall at outside zone 6. The tyre completely off the rim, and there it goes across the line.
He DB'd it really early on, too.
Don't know. Here we go. Decision's going to come in. It's like left for Shanahan, right for Yves Meyer, and it's going to only go one way. It's going to be Connor Shanahan. Shanahan getting the win and advancing through into the top 16. Kroll to lead out Oliver Randlew for a spot in the top 16. They fly through the gears. Kroll knows where to get it right and where not to get it right this time after that mistake. But look at this from Randlew as he tucks up onto the inside. Shallow angle though coming into inside zone 3, but now falls into formation as Randlew tucks up onto the side of that carbon Kevlar S14.9. Jakob Kroll slams on the handbrake, but that doesn't affect Randlew. Randlew dives up into the door once again and pushes Jakob Kroll across the line. Jakob Kroll wasn't the greatest, and it was sketchy, but they're off the line and through the gears as Oliver Randlew now flicks that Infinity Turbo BMW E46 to angle and into that first outside zone. Randlew doing a good job out front, and look at this from Kroll, starts to tuck up onto the door of the Estonian's BMW. Oh, wow, bumper to bumper transition, and it upsets the line. Oh, and hits it once again. And Oliver Randlew gets himself into it unfazed and finishes off the run. I think there's a hunger for it as well. Here we go, decisions inside of left for Randlew, right for Jakob Kroll. It's going to be a split decision, but Oliver Randlew gets the win and advances on to the top 16. David Kalas, we have to come to you, a split decision as well. Just couldn't seem to find the form yesterday here in Riga. What do they do right now as they fire those cars to angle? Look at this from Keski Korpi, aggressive on the initiation, jumps straight onto the side of that GR86. Oh, what a big mistake from Mika Keski Korpi. Huge understeer, has to bail out of it and get back into it. Once again, a bumper-to-bumper transition as Keski Korpi finds the back end of Piscotty's GR86. They fire in to outside zone 6. Keski Korpi now hunting down the door, but Piscotty unshaken.
Feels like we're at a point of like who could just hang on through these battles,
right? And who the battle, Mika Keski Korpi for Finland to lead out. Kevin Piscotty far into initiation. Mika Keski Korpi a long time there to get on throttle, but it doesn't affect the Hungarian as he jumps up onto the side of that F22 BMW. Kevin Piscotty fires through the smoke, looks for the side of that BMW once again. Both guys not messing around this time, but a mistake from Kevin Piscotty as he waits to get that transition done. Now loses proximity. Can he get himself back in the fight? It's an unbelievable lead run from Mika Keski Korpi.
Yeah, by any means.
No, it certainly isn't. Well, here we go. Looks like the decision's in from our judges. Left for Keski Korpi, right for Piscotty, and it's going to be the Hungarian Kevin Piscotty gets the win and takes out Mika Keski Korpi, the flying Finn. Kevin Piscotty, the higher qualifier, leads him out. The Estonian driver will want to get the job done and move himself into that top 16. Big flick to initiation from Kevin Piscotty. Look at this. Jakob Piscotty follows him, and when he goes wide, flicks some dust up from Kevin Piscotty, and it upsets the line. He's going to go deep on inside zone 3. Has to collect himself now, and opens the door once again from Jakob Piscotty as he puts it down, almost takes the front end off the car on transition, but Piscotty not messing around, the aggression in full force and full effect. Can he jump onto the door across the line? He tries to. The line and through the gears as Kuba Piscotty now works his way to initiation. Look at this from Kevin Piscotty, straight down the inside, contact on initiation. They hold on to it. Kevin Piscotty slams on the foot brake, tries to get himself back into this battle, but it does upset the line. But now Piscotty's back in on the fight. Aggression from Kevin Piscotty. The Estonian won't go down without a fight, that's for sure. As now Piscotty sticks it into that final outside zone. Piscotty onto the door, trying to force the error across the line. Here we go, slide of left from Piscotty, right for Piscotty. Who's going to be taking through to the top 16? It will be Jakob Piscotty getting the win, advancing through position. He's up against third place qualifier right now. What can Espen Road do in that lead position to try and overturn the young gun from Ireland as they fire through the gears and flick that car to angle? Espen Road with a beautiful initiation, but he does wander in that first outside zone. Falvey deals with it, goes for the transition. Espen Road now swings that car towards outside zone 4 as Connor Falvey can't be shaken. Wow, brave transition from Falvey through the smoke. Now goes for the dive down outside zone 6, but Espen Road really sticking that car into that final outside zone, stands on the accelerator across the line. The BMW 2 Series comes off the line and through the gears as Falvey now fires into initiation, stands on the accelerator, wanders a little bit, but puts some ground between him and Espen Road. Espen Road on the inside now. Espen Road lost in the smoke as Road needs to find himself back in this battle as Connor Falvey goes deep on outside zone 5. Big angles, contact on the transition as Falvey stays in it. Espen Road pushing the front end of that BMW around, but Falvey driving angry. Well, two young superstars out of the car, one from Norway and one from Ireland. Who's going to be taking it through to the top 16? Side left for Falvey, right for Espen Road. It's going to be Connor Falvey. Connor Falvey getting the job done and advancing through into the top 16. You can see a little sigh of relief there from Falvey. Like his qualifying run was that good. He said, I feel blessed that I made it into top 32 action. I'm going to see how I get on against my very good friend Jack Shanahan. Well, here we go. They fire through the gears. Jack Shanahan to lead out. Dwayne McKeever. Shanahan wanders deep and out of outside zone 1 very early. Shanahan now almost shallows up the angle. McKeever deals with it and goes for a transition on the back bumper of Jack Shanahan as they fire into that final outside zone. McKeever looking for the door of that 2JZ powered Toyota GT86. They go wheel to wheel and across the line.
Super uncharacteristic of Jack through outside zone 1.
Drivers, Shanahan now in the fight for the championship. I said he's not thinking about it, he's just here for fun and partying as they fire in. And look at that, McKeever not making any mistakes, but Shanahan dives through the smoke onto the back bumper and onto the side of that Nissan 200SX as they go back across and look for outside zone 5. Shanahan not messing around, takes a bit off the front bumper on the back end of McKeever's car as he now jumps onto the front wheel, pushing McKeever across the line.
Yeah, Jack's just trying to win from the chase. Oh man, to be a fly on the wall for that conversation.
Well, here we go, slide of left from McKeever, right for Shanahan. It's going to be Dwayne McKeever. Dwayne McKeever gets the win in competition. They fire through the gears as Jarko Euler leads him into initiation. Flicks that JZX 102 angle. Look at that, Roman Kandrasenko up onto the door already, into the pocket as they transition to outside zone 2. Kandrasenko stays within touching distance of Jarko Euler as he puts that big JZX into outside zone 5 and now into the final outside zone. Kandrasenko loosens some ground, needs to gain back some proximity as Jarko Euler lays down an incredible lead line.
Yeah, Jarko is just...
Kandrasenko puts that AMG GT Coupe to initiation and fires that car in on angle right to the edge of the circuit, just tickles the dust but puts it right on the edge of that white line. Now flicks the car early on transition and that does hold up the transition from Jarko Euler, but he stays with it as Kandrasenko now looking for outside zone 5, makes it work, but that again upsets Jarko Euler on the transition. He now tries to fall in to the pocket onto the door of the AMG as they get it across the line. Roman Kandrasenko there throws his hands up. It's going to be left for Senko, right for Euler, and it is going to be Jarko Euler from Finland taking the win, advancing through. The high qualifier is going to lead out. Sim Oscar Hull right now. Oh, very far over for Oscar Hull, but he fires that car in and holds it on angle on the door of David Spossum. The Polishman puts that car where it needs to be now, goes nice and wide, but a switch from Hull in that chase position as he goes bumper to bumper. Wow, both guys up the curb. Look at the chase from Hull as he goes bumper to bumper once again on the transition. David Spossum deals with it, but look at this, Hull on the door, forcing David Spossum around that final outside zone. Sim Oscar Hull, they fire through the gears. Sim Oscar Hull looks to get that GT86 to angle, and he does, sets it up lovely for that first outside zone. David Spossum down the inside, maybe caught by a little bit of the pace, but now starts to get himself into the battle as they fire to outside zone 4, back across the circuit. Sim Oscar Hull, no messing around, full throttle on the transition into outside zone 6. The lead line from Sim Oscar Hull is absolutely beautiful right now. Spossum can't get on the door. See it in first hand. Here we go. Slide them left for Hull, right for Spossum. It's going to be Sim Oscar Hull getting the win and advancing through to top 16 here at Drift Masters. And look what it meant to that young man. I tell you what.
The last bit of this track is going to be a complete handful.
Well, it certainly is. Well, let's talk about handfuls. We've got plenty of handfuls of good battles coming up. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready. It's top 16. Into gear and off the line. It is ready to go for top 16. Peter Viensek to lead out Timo Summer as Viensek fires that car in almost no braking on that first outside zone as he flicks it to outside zone 2. Sunma on the inside, looking for the door of Viensek's A90 Supra, but it's a bumper-to-bumper transition now as Sunma starts to apply the pressure to the Polishman. They fire into 6. Sunma backs it in, makes contact with Viensek, and Viensek, unfazed, still gets the job done and brings it across the line.
Sunma knew he had to put everything into this run just to be able to keep up with the pace of Piotr Viensek.
As Viensek now starts to creep off the line, Sunma gets the green light to go, and he is rowing through the gears down to initiation. Look at this, Viensek. I wonder if he'll keep his nose clean in this battle, and he certainly does. Look like he's going to. He's going to keep himself in the fight, but not apply too much pressure as he dives through the smoke outside zone 2. He lets Sunma make those moves. Sunma a little shallow on outside zone 4, goes wide up to the curb. A big bobble on the curb for Timo Sunma as Peter Viensek then keeps himself out of danger, just keeps it clean, keeps himself in the conversation, and brings it home across the line.
That could have been way worse for Sunma.
We go slightly left for Sunma, right for Viensek, and it is that clear cut. It will be Peter Viensek taking the win and advancing through to the top 8. The second battle of our top 16 is underway and off the line and through the gears as Ite Sedet lead out Benedictus Cherba. Nice initiation from both those guys. A little check up on the handbrake from Ite Sedet only allows Cherba to get deeper into the pocket as now Cherba goes for the front wheel of the carbon fibre BMW. They fire through outside zone 4, back across Cherba, not messing around, but he gives him the room to manoeuvre outside zone 5 before making a wobbly dive into outside zone 6. Cherba not looking too rock steady right now as he jumps up onto the door and across the line, but now lights the tyres off and clicks through the gears and down towards initiation as he gets that car moved across the circuit. Ite Sedet almost impeding that initiation, but job done for both guys as they get through outside zone 1. Big flick, look at that from Cherba, that style coming into play, and that has really messed up Ite Sedet. He can't find himself through the smoke, but Cherba not as deep on the curb. Big transition back into that final outside zone. Ite Sedet really needs to get some proximity here and dive up onto the door, and can he get there across the line? It all just comes down to the driving style. Slight of left for Cherba, right for Ite Sedet. And it's going to be Benedictus Cherba. Cherba getting the win. Hands on the interesting move. I've never seen it here before in Riga. Well, here we go. They're off the line. It's James the Machine Dean in the Ford Mustang RTR to lead out Laurie Heinlein in that NASCAR V8 powered Nissan 200SX as Laurie Heinlein straight up onto the door of James Dean, tucks into the pocket. Dean fires that Mustang across the circuit, but there's no shaking the finished driver as Heinlein stays glued to Dean. Even through the smoke comes Laurie Heinlein, but Dean is on an absolute flyer right now as he puts it into that final outside zone. Laurie Heinlein goes for the dive up to the door, noses that 180SX on the door and across the line.
Getting finals level battles.
Wow. Underneath him this weekend as they come off the line and through the gears. Dean tucks into formation as Heinlein fires it in right to the edge of the circuit, stands on the accelerator. Dean right onto the door of Laurie Heinlein as they fire through to outside zone 2. Dean taking risks, no messing around for the Irishman as he goes very deep and transitions almost at the same time. Heinlein takes it to the edge of the circuit in to outside zone 6. Dean now makes a dive onto the door, attacking the side of Laurie Heinlein's S13 and across the line.
Oh man, smiles for both of them.
Well, here we go, decisions inside him, left for Heinlein, right for James Dean. It's going to be a one more time. RTR, but 2 V8s screaming, one pro-charged, one nitrous fed as they come off the line and flick into action. Dean with a beautiful initiation, but look at Laurie Heinlein, he's closer than he was before. Heinlein willing to risk it all this weekend as Heinlein now tucks up onto the door once again. He forces Dean to go wide. Oh, Laurie Heinlein through the smoke as he pushes Dean to the outer limits of the track. Laurie Heinlein forces Dean onto the wall. Dean looks absolutely flawless as he rubs the back end along the wall. Finland fire down and through the gears. And Dean jumps onto the back bumper and mirrors the initiation. Laurie Heinlein a little wandering outside zone 1, but Dean's on him straight away as he dives through the smoke. A wobble from both guys on the transition as they now look for the transition back to outside zone 5. Heinlein almost backwards, but Dean matches it. Dean goes for it once again, almost takes the back end off Laurie Heinlein's S13. Now Dean with the aggression, a big clutch kick onto the door and across the line. We wait for it to drop on our screens. 2 absolute titans. Slide it left for Heinlein and right for James Dean. Laurie Heinlein gets the win and takes James Dean out. He always entertains the fans, that's for sure. That always comes in plentiful, but will the weather hold out? That is a big question. He mentioned it. I'm not the only one to mention it this weekend.
Okay.
Well, here we go, creeping off the line. Nassau Habali to chase down Poland's very own Paweł Korpolinski. Can he keep a hold of the championship, or will Nassau Habali hunt him down as the man from El Salvador loses some ground on initiation and outside zone 1 as Paweł Korpolinski now flicks that car across the circuit, looking right rock steady out front. It's a nice lead line at the moment as Nasser Al-Habali shortcuts the circuit to try and gain back some lost ground as Korpolinski puts it into that final outside zone, dials on the pressure, puts the back end of that car towards the wall, and there's nothing in it for Nasser Al-Habali. Mack and now Rose through the gears as he flicks that car to initiation. Got a little dab of the handbrake, now stands on it. But look at that, Pavel Korpolinski not scared to tuck up on the inside. Big transition back, but it's shallow from the Nasser Al-Habali. We find outside zone 4, he certainly does as he flicks it back. Pavel Korpolinski's with him, hunting him down every inch of the tarmac as Pavel Korpolinski now looks to make the dive up into the door as Nasser Al-Habali tries to run away from the Polishman. Will it be another one more time? Slide of left for Korpolinski, right for Nasser Al-Habali. And it's going to be Pavel Korpolinski getting the win and advancing through to the top 8. And Pavel, exactly that. Well, here we go. We've got the green light and we are good to go. It's going to be Randalou from Estonia to lead our island's very own, the former champion. Can he hold on to it right now as they fire in? Big hop across the circuit for Oliver Randalou, but he sticks that car in to that first outside zone. Good job for Randalou on the transition, but there's no shaking. Connor Shanahan at the moment as he now loses a little bit of ground, but he makes it back on a big dive to outside zone 5 as they look for the transition. Oh, almost contact. Shanahan with a brave transition into that final outside zone. Shanahan risking it all right now as he dives onto the door.
Yeah, I think it was the right call.
Shanahan now looks for the big flick to angle and he gets it done. A little dab of the handbrake sets him up lovely for that first outside zone, but Randalou tucks into formation now, starts to hunt down the side of the back bumper of that GTA 6, and Randalou's closer than Shanahan on the transitions. Randalou is not going to go down without a fight right now. The whole of Estonia is behind this young man as he makes a dive into that final outside zone. Shanahan sets it up lovely. Randalou goes for the rear wheel and across the line. It's going to be Oliver Randalou. Oliver Randalou takes down Connor Shanahan in the top 16 and a shake of the head. Jakub Przkonski just struggles every now and then to get that beast out of the cage and put it out on circuit. Well, here we go. We get the green light to go. It's going to be Przkonski to lead out Przkonski as they fire in, and this is it. This is what we wanted to see. Przkonski down on the door of Przkonski. Przkonski fires that car into outside zone 2. A nice lead line so far. Both guys shallow up the angle as they fire into outside zone 5 and almost contact on the transition. Przkonski's not messing around. He goes for it once again, but look at that entry into that final outside zone from Przkonski. He's dialed in. He's on the door. He's on the wall, but Przkonski's with him.
Both drivers.
Almost similar power, but what can they do with the driving talent behind? Look at Przkonski, he tucks it straight down on the inside, and no messing around, he initiates before Jakub Przkonski as they fire into that second outside zone. Przkonski has to adjust his line and give him some room, as now Przkonski needs to make a dive down to outside zone 5, and he does. He waits for the transition, but it's too early, and he has to make a correction. Przkonski on that perfect lead line as he puts the back bumper towards the wall. Now Przkonski tucks into formation.
Kuba's still on it.
Who's it going to be? Will it go to Hungary? Will it go to Poland? Slide him left for Przkonski, right for Przkonski. It's one vote for Przkonski. It's going to be Kevin Przkonski. Kevin Przkonski gets the win and advances through.
Imagine your rookie year, Dwayne McKeever in Riga.
Yeah, and there we go. Off the start line we go. Dwayne McKeever to lead out Connor Falvey as the 2JZ 180SX leads out the 2JZ S15. They fire in. Connor Falvey gives McKeever some room to manoeuvre. Tucks down on the inside, looks for the transition back. McKeever on a nice lead line. Falvey on the inside there, shortcut in the circuit. Oh, wow, Falvey out of nowhere. Oh, McKeever hits a curb and DBs the tyre. He's going to stay in it, but can he hold on? He just about finds outside zone 6, and this is making life incredibly hard for Falvey as they just about crawl across the line. Bits are going on. We have to make this an official decision, ladies and gentlemen. It will be Connor Falvey taking the win and advancing through to the top 8. Obviously, Dwayne McKeever, we have no 5-minute rules here, no changing of tyres, and that DB does knock Dwayne McKeever out.
I mean, both of them seem to be on it, so see how it all shakes out.
Yeah, let's see how this one plays out. Finland versus Estonia. We know the Estonians are behind their drivers this evening. Look at this from Oscar Hull as he fires it down. An interesting technique from initiation, but it works for him as Jarko Uller gets around outside zone 1 and now on a real nice line to outside zone 4, but there's no shaking the young Estonian as he comes through the smoke and makes that dive as Jarko Uller gets outside zone 5 and dives into that final outside zone. Sim Oscar Hull onto the door, looks for that proximity, jumps up onto the side of the Toyota and across the line. The wildcard driver this weekend, could he get himself into the top 8? Nice initiation, flicks that car, but wanders out of that first outside zone. A groan from the judges in the background as Jarko Uller gives him the room to manoeuvre. And Sim Oscar Hull now looks for that wide line and starts to feel the pressure of Drift Masters. He goes deep into outside zone 5, but that opens the door once again for Jarko Uller, but he doesn't take the opportunity. And the Finnish driver needs to make a move here in that final outside zone, and he just does, just across the line. We're still learning, and we're learning this guy as well. Here we go. Slide him left for Seam Oscar Hull, or slide him right for Yaka Euler. It's going to be Seam Oscar Hull making his way into the top 8. It's time for top 8. I'm sorry.
We're so excited.
I'm so excited. My brain is turned into mashed potato because what a weekend it has been here this weekend. From qualifying to right now, everything has been wild, Jacob.
I mean, listen, no driver gets 100% on every qualifying run. We can't expect you to be perfect.
I scored a 4 today. Well, here we go. We're going to move things on with our top 8. It's going to be Peter Wiensek to take on Benediktus Scherber. Another heavy-hitting battle. This is why I'm so excited, because all of these battles now are so important. Wiensek wants to take the championship lead as he leaves Riga, but can he do it? He's got Benediktus Scherber that has found the form in the last few rounds in a brand new car as Wiensek fires in the A90 Super. Scherber can't find the pace and he understeers off the track. Wow, Scherber cannot hang with Wiensek, and just as I praise him, he falls at the first hurdle against Wiensek. Wiensek fires into that final outside zone and sets that car up lovely as we see Scherber in the background just trying to hold on, and we nearly see Scherber in a huge accident. Driving angry as he comes through the gears, looks for that big flick to initiation. He does get it done. The bumper now already hanging off the back of that car, but it doesn't phase Peter Wiensek as he dives through the smoke, and he won't let Scherber get away, that's for sure. As they go deep on outside zone 4, through the smoke comes Wiensek as they both fire on more angle at outside zone 5. Scherber gets himself set up for outside zone 6, and look at this from Wiensek, tucked in onto the door, into the pocket and across the line.
Gunther does not need to push that hard.
Benediktus Scherber just saying there to Peter, well done, congratulations. And Peter Wiensek's words to him was, well, let's just wait and see.
Very humble.
Very humble. Yeah, and here we go, slide him left for Scherber, right for Wiensek. And it's going to be unanimous. It's going to be Peter Wiensek getting the win, advancing through to the final 4. Unfortunately, we lose the Lithuanian Benediktus Scherber, but what an incredible drive. He's still smiling.
Still smiling.
Still smiling. Good to see a smile on the face of Benediktus Scherber, that's for sure. Big for the championship points right now, especially with Wiensek into the final 4. They hammer through the gears. Korpelinski flicks that car in, and look at this from Heinonen. Textbook once again. He's on the door of Pavel Korpelinski as he fires that car to transition. They come down to outside zone 4, and there's no shaking the Finnish driver as he almost takes the back end off of Korpelinski's car. Lauri Heinonen not making any wrong moves right now as they both get into that final outside zone. Lauri Heinonen needs that proximity as he jumps up onto the door across the line. And the Polishman would love to take on Wiensek to try and claw some more points, but he's got to get through the Finnish driver right now as Lauri Heinonen fires that 180SX in, and he's up and gone. And you can see Pavel Korpelinski down on the inside trying to find the proximity, trying to find the door of the Finnish driver's car as they go deep onto outside zone 4. What can Korpelinski do as he goes to make a dive at outside zone 5? Heinonen's dialed in on the zone. Korpelinski, the surgeon, back into it, cleanly drives onto the door in that final outside zone, but it's unbelievable from Heinonen. And Pavel Korpelinski, slide it left for Heinonen, right for Korpelinski, who's taking it through, and no one's taking it through. It's a split decision. We're going to go one more time. Ready to rock and roll, the arm restraints adjusted, the handbrake tested, and the car's into gear. They get the green light to go. It's Pascolti to lead out Randalou for a spot in the final 4, awaits for one of these drivers. Pascolti hasn't been here for a long time. What can he do right now as he puts that GR86 in to that first outside zone? But look at Randalou tucked up onto the inside already as he now starts to turn the screw and look for the side of Pascolti's GR86 once again. Oh, it's a bumper-to-bumper transition, but it catches Oliver Randalou out, and he's misplaced now as Kevin Pascolti gets himself into outside zone 6. Puts the back bumper towards the wall. That opens the door for Randalou, but it's a big mistake for Randalou.
Yeah, gets himself way out of sorts in the chase, and
he hammers through the gears in that M50 Turbo BMW E46. He flicks it in to that first outside zone and fulfills it all, but Pascolti can't seem to find the side. Now makes a dive at outside zone 2 as Pascolti tries to tuck up on the inside. Randalou on a flyer though, and the back end once again abused by another driver as Pascolti flexes the back end of that BMW. Now Pascolti's out of position as Oliver Randalou fulfills all of outside zone 6 with a bumper on the wall and across the line.
Yeah, Randalou back with a vengeance on that one. Maybe thought he was down, and that
it's going to be Kevin Pascolti. Kevin Pascolti gets the win and takes out Oliver Randalou. David Kalas, we're going to have to quickly come to you. Not the way that I thought it was going. Falvey's been in this position before and he has got himself into the final four. He's even got himself into the final, but Simos Cahal, this is extra time for him right now as he fires that car into that first outside zone. A little wander. Falvey gives him the room to manoeuvre as Simos Cahal now starts to find that perfect qualifying line. He goes deep on four, but there's no shaking Falvey. Falvey absolutely blows the back end off of that GT86 on transition. He gets himself back into it once again as Simos Cahal sets himself up lovely in that final outside zone, but there's no shaking the Irishman to take down Falvey. He needs to be clean, but he needs to be calculated. Falvey needs to be aggressive, and he is aggressive as he fires that car in to that first outside zone, fulfills it perfectly. Simos Cahal bursts through the smoke as Falvey catches a little wobble of understeer, but makes it work as he looks for the transition for 5. There's no shaking the young Estonian, though, as he gets on it once again. And now Simos Cahal goes for the dive. Oh! And a mistake from the Estonian as Falvey puts it to the wall and across the line. Side of left for Falvey, right for Hull. It's going to be Connor Falvey! Connor Falvey gets the win. Start line as Pavel Korpolinski leads out Laurie Heinen, and he knows he's going to be on his door, and he's on his back bumper already as Heinen aggressive straight onto the side of Pavel Korpolinski's Nissan. They fire through those 2 outside zones, and now they look for outside zone 4 where Heinen loses some ground, but he claws it back in as they go deep on outside zone 5. Heinen looks for the transition. Korpolinski, though, the surgeon is clean out front, and he's getting that clinical job done as he looks for the line and he crosses it. Well, here we go, they're off the line. Heinen, that car jumps up off the tarmac. That V8 screams as he comes down to initiation. Heinen will try to get this job done and get himself into another final four as Heinen now fulfills all of that first outside zone as Korpolinski now tucks up on the inside. Korpolinski, though, a little mistake there on that transition, but getting the job done. Parts fly.
Oh, no!
And that was the... Was that the inlet manifold on Laurie Heinen's car that exploded and went over the windscreen? Something came off of Heinen's car on outside zone 4 and into the sky. We're going to take a look back at the replay. And yeah, look at the bonnet. I think the inlet manifold has
That's danger to manifold.
The inlet manifold on Laurie Heinen's car has completely exploded to really get the decision, and it can only go one way, and it's going to be Pavel Korpolinski into the final four.
Not the way he would have wanted, but no. A big stress has just dropped from him,
hey,
you can see.
I will tell you something. Championships, you need a little bit of luck on your side. And well, tyres are warmed and cars are prepped, and drivers, well, they start to feel the adrenaline pump through the veins, because now it matters more than ever before for these two guys. Peter Wiensek wants another championship under his belt. Korpolinski wants his first ever championship under his belt. But right now, he has to take down his fellow countryman, a man that has won it all before, and he's won it here in Riga before. Can Pavel Korpolinski do the unthinkable and take down a man that he's probably looked up to for many, many years to reach that podium today here under a huge amount of crowd as they fire those cars in? And look at that once again from Wiensek. Unbelievable! Both guys go wild. Oh! And Korpolinski can't hang with the pace of Wiensek. Even Wiensek couldn't hang with Wiensek's pace and put that car over the edge of the circuit. He gets himself into that final outside zone, puts the bumper to the wall and absolutely fires away, and both of these guys have turned these cars up to 100, Jacob.
Past opponents his face.
Yeah, well, I wonder if the Falvey team have whipped that car up and left it as it is, because they know that Piscotty's fast, but when they want to be in the lead, they want to be faster. They fire into that first outside zone, and Piscotty does a good job of leading them through it as the body panels now start to be shredded. But look at this from Connor Falvey, starts to apply the pressure, starts to dive down, and look at this clean transition. Falvey on a mission right now. What can he do on outside zone 6? It's absolutely unbelievable. Oh, bumper!
Oh, no!
Falvey hits Piscotty, and they both hit the wall, and the rule book's back out again.
Yeah, rule book. I just put it back in my bag, and here it is again. So,
going and look at this, the right mindset as he slams that S15 into gear. That 2JZ S15 against the 2JZ Toyota A90 Supra. They are off the line. It's Wiensek to lead in Falvey for the third step on the podium as Wiensek fires that car in. Look at Falvey, he's got the measure of the Polish. Oh my God! Wiensek slams that car into the wall at high speed. And we hope that Wiensek is fine. That was a serious collision. Wiensek, we have the safety crew getting down there. I'm being told in my headset that Wiensek is down there with a safety crew. That was a serious collision for Wiensek. Piscotty starts to creep as Pavel Korpelinski gets the green light to go, and they hammer through the gears towards initiation, and Piscotty's on the back bumper already. He shallows up the angle to keep proximity, to keep within touching distance of Pavel Korpelinski. As Korpelinski now looks for outside zone 4, they transition to 5, and look at this from Pavel Korpelinski. It's clinical, but look at Piscotty. Piscotty goes for it. He needs a dive on the door at the final outside zone as Korpelinski puts it to the wall and across the line. As they fire through the gears, Kevin Piscotty to lead out Pavel Korpelinski as Korpelinski fires up onto the back bumper but leaves some room to manoeuvre as Piscotty now works his way in and around this dangerous Riga circuit. Oh wow! Korpelinski goes for it, pushes himself to the limit as he dives once again into the outside zone, looking for the side of Piscotty's GR86, noses in, almost makes contact and across the line. Is on, they both await the decision. Slide him left for Korpelinski, slide him right for Kevin Piscotty. It's Pavel Korpelinski! Pavel Korpelinski wins round 5 at Drift Masters 2026 and is crowned the new King of Riga.
No, I don't take shit, I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no, I don't take shit, I got no love for the fakeness.